Hello and welcome and Happy New Year and welcome to the first Masterclass edition of Cracking the Cryptic for 2025. And this is the edition every week where I will try and solve the Times Cryptic crossword for you. Actually, next week I might not be able to do it. It might be Mark next week. But anyway, this week it is me. And we're going to be trying this puzzle, which, let's have a look at the stats. The snitch rating's really high today. Yeah, so John McCabe, 6 minutes 18. I don't know what John's average time is, but I think it's something incredible, like 4 minutes 20 or something. Verlaine is Matthew Marcus, who was the Times crossword champion last year. Oh no, I suppose 2023 now. We've just ticked over. And for Matthew to take 9 minutes 45 means that this is really hard. Andrew Fisher there, 10 minutes. So definitely this is going to be, I mean, if you can get, yeah, look at that. Tom Stubbs is a really good solver. 18 minutes and achieving basically top 10 because this first time is not real. Definitely. That number 2 might be real. Is that Colin Thomas's name on the Times leaderboard? I'm not sure. I suspect this might be a neutrino, as they're called, people who just solve the puzzle on paper or even get the answers off the internet and then type them in quite slowly sometimes. A fairly mad practice, but it does exist. Anyway, this is what we're going to have a go at, and if I have time I'll also try and race on the quick cryptic, and I will try and explain what I'm thinking as I'm thinking it, in the hope that that provides some sort of, I don't know, guide to how to think about this wonderful hobby that we all share. Now, before we kick off, though, I do want to mention something that we got sent this week. I want to thank Nick Calderwood, who is a crossword setter from the US, who amusingly wrote to say that his puzzles have appeared in such publications as his own Facebook page and his own Reddit profile. But he made a cryptic crossword called Simon Says. I think because he's been watching these Masterclass videos and they have helped. And actually, it's really good. So I'm going to include it as a link under this video. And you guys can have a look at it if you'd like to. I don't know how, yeah, I suppose the way to leave Nick feedback on his puzzle is going to be just to drop a comment on this video. And please do drop comments in. We like comments, especially when they're kind. They do, we believe at least, try to teach the YouTube algorithm that some videos deserve more attention. Anyway, with that said and done, let's get cracking and let's have a look at this puzzle today. Oh, have I got my dictionary? Have I got my dictionary? That's yes. Okay, I've got my dictionary and it's in the right place. That's important. Okay, here we go. One across. Where numbers are called bingo something, not to share, writers point about everything. Where numbers are called not to share, writers point about everything. I haven't got a clue what this is yet, but let's just talk. If you're completely new to cryptic crossword clues, you're probably thinking this sounds like gibberish. What you have to realise is that every single cryptic clue is this sort of a code, and it can be read as a mathematical equation. But it's a mathematical equation where you can't see initially where the equal sign is. So on one side of this clue, there will be a straightforward definition to the answer. It's a very long clue, this, so it's a bit difficult to see. Let's look at 9 across for a moment. Passing idea for a moan. So this will either be a word, a 7-letter word, which means passing or passing idea, or look at the other side of the clue, moan. It will be one of those two things. And then the rest of the clue is sort of an instruction, a word, how to form the answer out of letters. So it might be telling you to anagram some things, or it might be saying to put a word inside another word. And the clue must always tell you what to do. Always remember that. The clue writer must tell you what to do. Now, they can use, difficult language, or not difficult language, but tricky language in giving you that instruction. But they must give you the instruction. So when you read the clue properly and think about the words, in the correct way, it will make absolute sense. So let's look at this clue. Let's go back to one across again. Where numbers are called. That could be the definition here. But obviously, where numbers are called. I mean, is it bingo hall then? That was the first thing I thought was bingo. All. I'm sure it's bingo hall now. Now I've had that thought. Let me just put that in. I don't know why. Not to share. Not to share. Writer's point about everything. A writer's point is like nib. It is I was going to say writer's point is a nib, and there is nib reversed. So it is something to do with that. Oh, to hog. Yeah, okay. That's very clever. Right. So if you hog something, you don't share it. A writer's point, as in the point they write with, is a nib, and that turns about. So hog, nib, about, you can see a reversed, and then everything is all, and that gives us bingo hall. I should have got that much more quickly. I had the right thought quite quickly, but I just didn't think of it. Right, rock singer. I'm going to stop there because I don't think it's going to be relevant here, but just to give you an idea of how these cryptic crossword writers, clue writers, like to think. Rock singer, if you see that in a cryptic crossword clue, it's quite often Lorelei, which I think is a singer from, is it the Greek myths, that used to sit on a rock and sing. So it was literally a singer on a rock, where of course when we see rock singer, any normal person thinks rock singer and they think Mick Jagger, but cryptic crossword writers, they never think Mick Jagger. They never do. If this is the name of an actual rock singer, I will be very surprised. Rock singer's dicky, but not having temperature. Dicky. A dicky could be a dicky bow, maybe. Like, and okay, and let's deal with the end of this clue. Not having temperature. Now, something that comes up all the time, I mean, it will come up in probably more than half of these clues, is some sort of abbreviation for one of the words in the clues. Now, temperature, if we go to T in the dictionary, and this is important, it must be supported by the dictionary. You can't just abbreviate any word to its initial. It must be supported by the dictionary. There we go. Only certain words are. And it really is just a process of learning them. Now, some of them you will know already. If somebody said to you, what's an abbreviation for north? You would know it was N, wouldn't you? That's just obvious. Would you know that hot could be H? Well, you would if you thought about it if you saw an H on a tap, you'd know absolutely what it meant. But there are more obscure ones. Temperature actually isn't a particular obscure one, but it is important to gain a familiarity with them. So from an equational perspective, how does this work? Rock singer. I don't know. I'm now wondering whether that is the definition. Rock singer, and then I'm looking for a 6-letter word that means dicky, which might be a dicky bow, or it might mean dicky as in ill, or hello. Oh, it's my dicky ticker. Oh no, I suddenly thought it couldn't be icker, could it? Taking the D. No, that's just nonsense. But I don't want to think about hello. I've talked about hello before in these videos, and it gets me very distracted. Oh, I have to tell you now. No, I did see it. I've told you this before, but in case you're new, I did see hello at the theatre many years ago. It was one of the very few times I actually went to the theatre with my grandfather, my father's father. And he was really very old at that point, but one of the things he loved on television was hello. I think it took him back to the war, and he used to find it hilarious. So my dad, my grandfather, and I went to see hello at the theatre, and it was absolutely brilliant. And Herr Flick, I remember, was the most extraordinary gymnast. And that was so incongruous, because he never appeared as a gymnast in the TV show. And yet there were moments in the theatre where this sort of man who would stand very straight and, had a personality that was anything but lithe, would leap around the stage. Anyway, I digress, and I shouldn't. Let's go back. But rock singers, Dickie, but not having temperature. Rock singers. I've had another idea. Ooh, no. I had my other idea, I'll tell you what it was, it's not good. But I thought maybe Dickie was an anagram indicator. And I had to anagram, but not. And then I was thinking, take T out and I would get 5 letters. But that's not what the clue says. If I anagram but not, I don't have the word not to then to then say remove the T for temperature. So not can't do double duty here. So I can't do that. Singers, rock. I think this is going to be the name of a type of rock, like basalt or bit. I mean, it's not basalt, but I'm just doing appallingly. 2 down. Innocence, naivety is my first thought here. Of crackers eaten around 4. Bingo. There we go. So that's correct. Now, if you can't see why it's naivety, give yourself a moment, because it's actually, to be fair to the clue writer, and I am normally fair, this is a beautifully written clue. It really is. So remember what we said about equations. So this is a clue, the answer to which is a word that means innocence. And innocence, the word of there in the clue is doing the duty of an equal sign. It's saying that we can make a word that means innocence out of or from the rest of the clue. Crackers eaten around 4. So the image, and again, this is something cryptic crossword writers are brilliant at. They will conjure images in your mind that have, but they do it deliberately, that are so far off what you have to think about in order to solve the clue. You have to cast aside what the words appear to be saying and read them very literally, in this sort of letters sense. So crackers are biscuits, aren't they? But that's not what this word is doing here. Crackers is an anagram indicator. It's saying treat the letters of the word eaten as if they were mad. If you're crackers, you're mad. So crackers eaten is saying anagram eaten, and put that anagram around the Roman numeral for the number 4, which is IV. And if we do that, we can get naivety, which is innocence. So that was easier than 1 down. Let's try 3 down. Films, original poster writer, the guy one's flipping about. I haven't got this one. It could be Oppenheimer. That is a film. I don't know. I quite like the idea of Oppenheimer being a film and fitting. Phil, why is it Oppenheimer? If it's Oppenheimer, should we put Oppenheimer in? Is Oppenheimer AR at the end or ER at the end? I'm not even sure. Let's spell it like that. Original poster writer. Oh, okay. Right, now that is a weird abbreviation. I think it is Oppenheimer now, because I think an OP in a sort of internet sense is an original poster. What did the OP say? The original poster say? I bet that's not in my dictionary. Let's have a look. Well, there are some weird ones here. Organophosphate. Opposite prompt. Op. No, it's not there. I think this is a modern abbreviation. And Shane, if you're watching, I'm sorry I still haven't updated my online chambers. But I'm convinced it's Oppenheimer, because if OP can be original poster, and it feels to me like that, I've seen that on the internet, a writer is a pen. That is literally something that writes, isn't it? It's not the holder of the pen. A writer could also be the thing that does the writing, the pen itself. So op pen. Now, how does the rest of it? The guy, he ones. Oh, hang on. One's flipping. Oh. That's really clever. Goodness me, it's very complicated again. If you didn't know this was Oppenheimer, unscrambling the end of this clue and coming up with Heimer would really be hard. So the guy is he. One's is I'm, as in one's going, I'm going. And then flipping about, well, about as an abbreviation would be re, wouldn't it? If something is re something, it's on the subject of it, it's about it. And if we flip it, we would get ER, and that's why the end of it is ER. So Oppenheimer is correct. I'm now convinced it does end in ER, and that is a reasonable answer. So let's try 4 down. Some stars, okay. I thought this was going to be a hidden immediately. Is it not? Maybe it's not. Some stars in Cannes at the city on the Baltic. Wow. A-list, no. Some stars in Cannes. I thought when I read this that the word some is quite often used by cryptic crossword writers to mean take some of the letters of the following string of letters in order. So it quite often indicates a hidden answer, an answer or a clue where the answer is actually spelt out within the letters of the clue. So I was immediately, given I've got this A here, I was sort of looking at ARSINC, arsync. I don't think that is a word that means a city on the Baltic. Annessa, ANNESA. I don't think so either. City on the Baltic. I'm not sure. Some stars. Is this something like astral? Don't know. Not sure. 5 down. Babe almost breaking into silly expression. What's this then? So I don't know is the answer, but let me try and give some ideas as to how I think this might work structurally. Babe almost. What does that mean? Well, to me, that says take almost all of the word babe. I know that's a strange way of reading it, but that is how I read it. So babe almost, I think, is bab, perhaps. Breaking. Okay, so maybe I have to anagram bab and put that into a 5-letter word, which means silly, to give an 8-letter word, which means expression. Silly could be loony. Lab expression. I don't know. I think I have a feeling I'm being a bit dim about that one. Oh well, never mind. Let's try 9 across. This was the one that I used as an example earlier. Passing idea, whim. That's right. Okay, passing idea for a moan. I mean, this is not. I've been very fortunate by having I and P here. A passing idea, if you have a whim, you have a passing idea, you have a fancy, don't you? So a whim is a passing idea. And you may say, well, what's per doing in this then? Where does it say in this clue per? Well, what it says is passing idea for a. So if you were to present the word for a passing idea with a synonym for a, and that can be per. If something is per capita, it is per person. It is for each person. It's for a person. So per and a are in fact exactly synonymous. Let's have a look at this. Per, for each, or a. And that gives a word whimper, which means moan. So let's go back to that one now. Rock sing. Oh, Bowie. Oh my goodness me. I was so near. I might even have said bow tie. Did I say bow tie? Oh, please don't let me have said bow tie. Oh no. I mean, it's David Bowie. Or Bowie. Is it Bowie or Bowie? Bowie. I'm a fan of Bowie. No, I'm a fan of Bowie. I prefer Bowie. David Bowie. I should know this, because David Bowie, believe it or not, is from Park Langley in Kent, which was a home of said grandfather I mentioned earlier, where I used to live for much of my teenage years. Anyway, so how does it work? Well, a rock singer is obviously David Bowie. Dickie is a bow tie, and take the T out, Bowie. So anyway, let's try 11 across. A kind of dam. Yeah, that means my glasses are going again, or my eyes are, because dam, sort of from a typeface perspective, is quite close to darn, D-A-R-N. If the R and the N are very squeezed together, it would look like the word dam. So I'm just double checking. I think it is dam. A kind of dam incorporated by Sizewell. Okay. So remember what I said earlier. Where was that one? The hidden one I thought that might be hidden. Which one was that? I can't. Oh, was it this one? I haven't solved it. That's why it wasn't sort of greyed out. I thought this might be a hidden. Well, this one, the one we're looking at here, this one is a hidden, because incorporated in the letters of Sizewell is the word ewe, and a ewe, a female sheep. I think dam must be a word for a female sheep. I'm certainly not changing this answer. I'm convinced it's right. Dam obviously can mean a mother, but I bet you it's also got a specific. Oh, here we go. A mother of cattle, horses, etc. Okay, maybe you is. I thought you was definitely a sheep. It is a sheep. Okay, so it doesn't actually list sheep. It says cattle. Which I don't think includes sheep, but that's clearly what the clue is getting at. So let's go back to... No, let's have a look at this one. Contrasts in light musical number. Contrasts in light musical number. I saw Oliver this week, by the way, thinking of musical numbers. And especially Fagin was fantastic. Contrasts in light, night and day. I quite like that as a thought. I bet that's a song from a musical. It's not from the musical Oliver, I can tell you that, but it feels like the name of a song, doesn't it? And it would, contrasts in the state of light would be night and day. I bet you that's right. I'm not certain. I'm very prepared to take it out, but I'm going to put it in and see if I can use the checking letters to help me. Although this doesn't look good, does it? I can't think of any word that fits there. Some stars in Cannes. Oh, Riga is a city on the Baltic. What on earth? Riga? I'm thinking of well, this might be wrong. Imagine there was a star, a constellation in the sky called Auriga. There could be. It sounds like it might exist, like Orion or something like that, but Auriga. Now, if that's right, I can justify it from the wordplay, because in Cannes, in France, What would be the translation into French of the word at? It would be A-U. And a city on the Baltic is Riga. And therefore, I think I quite like a Riga as an answer there. I think I'm prepared to believe it. Let's go back to this one. Okay, my babe almost breaking is not looking so good now. I can't really believe there's an anagram of babe or bab in this. Almost breaking into silly expression. Babe. Babe was a pig in that film. Almost breaking into silly expression. How about this then as an idea? Again, I still haven't got it, I'm afraid. But breaking into, that's rather a lovely way of indicating shone. In the sense of breaking the letters of the word into, anagramming them. So if I could think of a babe is a lover. So most of the word lover would be love, levation, expression, location, locution, elocution. Babe, almost. I'm close to getting this. Just not thinking of the right word. Its expression is emotion, isn't it? It's, oh, come on, you silly man. I'm sorry, I'm being very dense there. Should we go for 10 across? This is going to be helpful, isn't it? Unrealistic, dream, utopia of such as Big Ben area. Oh. Big Ben area, what's that? Is that going to be the postcode? Sometimes they do like to use the postcodes of big areas. So if you see this, where was the clue that was Riga? See the city in this clue? Well, the postcode for the City of London, they start with EC. So quite often if you see the city in a cryptic crossword clue, think of it as an abbreviation EC. Now, what are we looking at here? Big Ben area. That's not really the city. That's Westminster, isn't it? Big Ben. I don't know what. Well, W probably is the postcode there. Unrealistic dream. Chimera. Boom! That's right. Okay, I mean, I've got this by total luck, because basically I thought of a word that might be an unrealistic dream, and then I've understood it. Because such as Big Ben, what does Big Ben do on the hour every hour? It chimes. So Big Ben is a chimer. So chimer plus A for area is how we're getting to chimera. Now, hang on, let's just area there. So, that's all good. Now that is a problem though for my idea about this one. Babe, almost. Babe Ruth? Babe. So it's a 5-letter word that means babe, I'm sure. An expression, it's not... Location, is it? That's not an expression. Oh, hang on. What silly expression it must be. Sorry. Babe almost breaking into. Silly. There's different ways of reading this then. Silly could be an anagram indicator. Babe almost breaking. No, silly expression. That must be what it is. What on earth does silly expression mean? It makes me think of levity. Silly expression. If I have a silly expression, I gurn. Babe almost. Locution. I keep thinking about elocution. And that would, if that was right, locus? Why is babe a locus? Locum? I don't know. Oh no, I'm not going to have another one where I'm stuck, am I? That's happened a couple of times recently. That's really annoying. Okay, 6 down. This character would advance by 18 places if hosted by Musk, say. So this is clearly trying to make us think about Elon Musk. This character, so it's going to be a Greek letter. Would advance by 18 places. So that I'm thinking this is something to do with a shift of 18 letters in the alphabet. If hosted by Musk, say. What? This is weird. I think I might. I mean, I do know my Greek letters, so I'm thinking of Phi, Chi, but I'm not sure I understand the clue yet. So let's have another one. Parental dude initially in another's place. Parental dude initially in another's place. I want that to be stead or instead or something. Golly, I'm not sure what that is either. Let's keep going. What's made early to be nuked? That feels like an anagram of made early. If you nuke the letters of made early. What's that going to be then? Ready meal. That's quite clever, isn't it? So this is an example. You remember when I said that all clues can be read as equations? Well, this is a bit tricky, this one, because it's sort of a semi and lit. You actually have to use the wordplay to form part of the definition here, because a ready meal is something that would be made quickly, I think, especially if it was microwaved or nuked. So you need the anagram fodder to give context, or to put it another way, imagine I cut the clue after the word what's. What's does not define ready meal, does it? It just doesn't. So you need the context of the rest of the clue in order to. In fact, the whole clue, it's actually a proper and lit, isn't it? That's what it's trying to do. It's saying, what is... So from a... So the whole clue, if we read it as a definition, what is made early to be nuked? That sort of does define a ready meal. It's something you make quickly by microwaving. But let's think about the whole clue, reading it now only as wordplay. What is made early to be nuked? What is an anagram of made early? Well, that would be ready meal. So I think it is actually just an and lit. And I say just an and lit. It's very difficult to write and lits because obviously you have to make everything do double duty. But that's what I think is going on. Okay, so this is a clue that's much easier if you've done a lot of puzzles before. A problem affected 1. If you haven't done a lot of puzzles before, it's a nightmare. But if I mean, let's cut the clue in half. So after a problem is where we're going to cut it, and it's a double definition. So we need a 5-letter word that means a problem. And we need a 5-letter word that means affected 1. This is not wordplay. It's not a word for affected and then a word for one. Somebody who is affected is somebody who poses. The answer is poser. And a poser would be a problem, wouldn't it? Oh, I've got a real poser for you. So it's that's how this is working. So is this P or is this psi or phi? Let's go back and have a think about it. This character would advance by 18 places if hosted by Musk, say. I mean, I can see the letter mu in Musk. Elon would have L as a letter in it, E-L. This letter, there's something this character would advance by 18 places if hosted by Musk, say. Golly, I don't know. Although I know my Greek letters, I don't know the order of them. I don't know what number Greek letter phi is, for example. Would advance by 18 places. I mean, it couldn't be a reference to the answer at 18, could it? Probably not. If hosted by Musk, say. What's that getting at? SpaceX? Tesla? Billionaire? This character would advance by 18 places if hosted by Musk, say. I don't quite know what's happening there. Let's hope my subconscious will shed some light on it. Right, 14 across. Kitchen rod that's twisted more. Kitchen skew. Oh, skewer. Okay, a rod you might find in the kitchen is a skewer. And if something is more twisted, it would be skewer, as in to skew. To skew is to twist something, isn't it? So skewer. The reason for the question mark here is this: if I look up skewer in the dictionary, it won't. I think it'll just have the noun. It won't have more skew. If something is more skew, I think it would be literally more skew. I don't think it could be skewer. Let's actually have a look, because I'm interested. It's definitely the right answer. So skew, is sort of awry. There it is, and there it is as a verb. But skewer is not expressly listed, is it? And if we look at skewer, it's only got one meaning, which is the sort of kitchen pin. So I think that's why this question mark here is sort of saying, could something be skewer? 14 down. City mob is somehow producing mutual advantage. Symbiotic. City. It is, or it's something like that, isn't it? It's an anagram of city mob is. Is it actually symbiotic? I think it is. Any good fan of Star Wars will immediately write that in. The midichlorians. Anyway, let's move swiftly on. Greek character again. I think this is a Greek character. So mu, perhaps, actor without subtlety, crazy man. Greek character. Menelaus? No. Actor without subtlety, crazy man. If it's a Greek character beginning with M, it's got to be mu, doesn't it? Actor without subtlety. Ham? Is this Muhammad? Mu, ham. mad. Muhammad, which is the name of a man. I think that's probably right. So Greek character mu, an actor without, if somebody is a ham, they're sort of a bad actor, aren't they? They certainly don't have subtlety. And then crazy, three letters synonym for crazy, mad, Muhammad, just simply being a man's name. Not easy, but it made easier by the fact we had the two M's as the checking letters. So 18 down. Where might bowler rest? Hat stand. No, nearly. Hard answer to follow. Where might bowler rest? It must be. It's something to do with. But it must be. It's not referring to a bowler in cricket, I don't think, and them having a rest. I think it's like a bowler hat and where you might leave it. Hat box or something. Hat. Hard will be H. That's from pencils. Let me show you that. If we look up H, hopefully it will be there. Yeah, hard. Literally, it says on lead pencils. So that's why this H is here. Then answer can be A as in Q&A, or it can be ANS as an abbreviation, I think. Answer. To follow is to trail. Hat rail. Could that be a thing? A hat rail? I've never heard of a hat rail. I've heard of a... I don't know, I quite like that as an idea. Hat rail. Let's see if we can justify that L. A minor possibly. I'm thinking child rather than C blank L. Trailing about like a sponge. Oh no, it's not. It's hat rack. It's track, isn't it? Because I've got this one going across. So it was track to follow. If you follow somebody, you track them. So it was HA plus track for a hat rack, which is seems a bit more likely than a hat rail. And then this one, well, like a sponge is the definition. But it's referring to a sponge as in a cake. So it's cakey. How does it work? It's lovely. A minor, possibly. Well, minor is a type in music. It's a type of key, isn't it? The minor key. So we've got A. I think that's this A. Minor possibly is a key. Trailing about. That's C for circa. As in the Latin word for about. Now, it's interesting that because about can also be CA. So there is a little bit of ambiguity there. There we go, circa CA, but it's also C. I think it is anyway. Let's go and check. There. So it's also C. So arguably, it could be read as CA as an abbreviation for about, and then A minor. Yeah, actually, that's probably how you're meant to read it. A minor, possibly, is the key of A minor, the musical key of A minor. That's lovely. I prefer that reading, because A minor, obviously, when you read it, you think, oh, it's referring to a child. But A minor possibly is a key, a musical key. That's beautiful. Right. 26 down. Former Prime Minister is allowed 31 days. Well, okay, this is a triple definition, I think. For former Prime Minister. Now, this wouldn't have been allowed about a year ago because you couldn't have clues that had answers or even referred to within the clue living people except for the reigning monarch. That was the rule, but now they've relaxed that rule so they can have famous people referred to in the clues. And a a former Prime Minister is Theresa May. I was actually at an alumni drinks a while ago, and Gavin Barwell gave a talk. He was Theresa May's chief of staff, I think. But it was under Chatham House rules, so I'm probably not allowed to say anything about what he said. But anyway, let's go. So former Prime Minister May, as in Theresa May, is allowed. If you are allowed to do something, you may do it. You can do it. 31 days is the month of May. So I think that's 3 definitions in one clue. Let's have a look at 25. It must be trammel or something. To catch. Public transport. Tram. First brace from... Yes, it's trammel. Okay. I think to catch is to trammel. And then tram is a type of public transport. The first brace for metropolitan. Brace is a word that means 2. So the first 2 letters of the word metropolitan are M and E. And then L is a valid abbreviation for line. And that gives us trammel as the answer there. So what's this then? I don't know. Oh, well, let's stop there. If you see the word bury in a cryptic crossword clue, to bury is to inter. If you inter a body, you bury it. So that's going to be, this is definitely wordplay. Rival with diminutive person answering person answering questions will be an interviewee. I think. I can almost understand that. Oh, we for diminutive. Lovely. Yeah. If you rival something, you vie for it, don't you? V-I-E. And then diminutive, Scottish word, if you're a wee bonny lassie, you would be a small bonny lassie. And so we is diminutive there. And the person answering questions, interviewee. Let's try 21 down. Part of parliamentary address, according to someone whipping. So again, it's trying to refer back to a whip in Parliament. It's somebody who sort of makes sure that you vote with the party that you're affiliated with. So it's trying to make us think about that, but it's probably going to be somebody who whips cream or something in the kitchen. Part of parliamentary address. According to. If something is according to something, it's per it, isn't it? Somebody whipping it is something like this. It's going to be per for according to. Part of parliamentary address. What's that getting at? Oh, somebody whipping is somebody stealing. Oh, goodness. That's very clever. So part of parliamentary address. If you were to write to someone in Parliament, apparently it is not W, it must be Southwest 1. So as in the postcode of Parliament must be SW1. I didn't know that, but it must be, because part of parliamentary address is not referring to a speech given in Parliament. It's to what you might write in order to write a letter on the envelope, literally, to address your letter to Parliament. So SW1, per, and somebody who whips, somebody who thieves is somebody who swipes. So swiper is what we're looking for. This is very good. It's a very good puzzle. I've been so pleased recently with the quality of the puzzles on Fridays. They've all been the best of the week. So I've been getting an awful lot of pleasure from these. 27 across. Dig round memorial in upright state. Dig round memorial in upright state. No idea what that's getting at. So should we try... Let's try the one ending in L. Part or place of union. Chapel? Why did I think of chapel? I think it's because place has so many of the letters chapel. Part or place. Bridal? Part of a union? I don't know, actually. I'm not sure. I think it's something to do with weddings. It's probably part of union. I don't think it'll be like part of the United Kingdom or something. It could be, but I don't think it will be. I think it's more likely to be... I quite liked bridle, but that's not right. Or place. It'll be a word that means part of a union and a word that means possibly, the question mark there is interesting, a place where a union might occur. Part of a union, chapel. I don't think that's right. Look, we haven't looked at this one. Doggers crude. Let's not think about the images that might conjure up. Doggers crude oil? North Sea oil? Oh, that's beautiful. It is. Oh, that's if you're familiar with your shipping forecast, you will understand that clue. That's great. Okay, I mean we have to talk about it. Doggers crude is clearly trying to conjure up images of dogging. Leave it to your own imaginations what dogging is. But Dogger is one of the shipping areas. So if you're familiar with the shipping forecast on Radio 4, where they tell you about where all the hurricanes are going to be in the seas and things like that, Dogger is one of those. So Dogger's crude is obviously, could be referring to oil. So North Sea oil. So Dogger is in the North Sea. That's really, I like that clue. Oh, chapel then is possible. Okay, should we try 16 down? That would be very useful. Bad man with bad deed. A bad deed might be a sin. Cutting short Americans ride. Limo. Bad man. Sin. Bad man. Criminal. No. Cut short Americans ride. Oh, I've got too many things going on in my head here. Cutting short Americans ride. An American might ride in a limo. So does this end LIM? And that would mean bad man is a villain. Bad deed. Bad could be ill. Cadillac. That's what it is. It's Cadillac, an American type of car. So, okay, there's a lot going on here. The way I got to it eventually was I thought that maybe ill could appear in the middle, and then I thought bad is a synonym for ill. If you have a bad bout of, or no, but he was ill-favoured would mean he favoured badly. Ill and bad just are synonymous. Sorry, I'm doing a very bad job of explaining why. A bad man is a cad, ill, and then a deed. What's the shortest synonym we could think of for a deed? If somebody does a deed, they do an act, A-C-T. But if we cut that short, we just get A-C. So Cadillac and Americans ride. Now, can we get this one? Consequence of run in yard. Rounding run out. Run out, I think, can be abbreviated to O. Well, I think it can be RO from cricket scorecards. But also, just bear in mind, run out could be an anagram of the word run, because if letters are out, they're sort of out of order. I don't think that's likely, though. C-U-R-N, Kern something, doesn't seem right, does it? But I do quite like the idea of that being R-O for run out. So consequence of run in yard. A yard is a court. Oh, corollary. Corollary is going to be the answer, a word I quite like. I haven't quite understood why. Run in yard. Oh, run in collar as in to arrest. Golly, okay, yeah. It's another really clever clue. So consequence of something is the corollary of it. If you run someone in, if you're a policeman and you run someone in, you arrest them, you collar them. So run in, yard can be Y, that's a valid abbreviation. So you've got collar Y, rounding RO, which is this RO here. And that gives corollary. Now let's try 20 down. I wonder if this is a P. Soft food is paprika. Oh, it's going to be, isn't it? This is going to be chapel, which is I'm going to have to think about again. So paprika. Soft food is pap. Drink is kia. It's an alcoholic liqueur, I think. Lifted with, so lifted, it's a down clue. So if we lift a word, we reverse it. So pap, a reversal of kia, with a, that's that a there. So again, you shouldn't see anything superfluous in a cryptic crossword clue. And this, so if we reread this clue, soft food and drink lifted with mild spice, it would means exactly the same as what's written here, soft food and drink lifted with a mild spice. So the reason that it's more correct, or it is correct, in a cryptic crossword clue for this a indefinite article a to be there, is because it's necessary to fulfill the wordplay. Let's just look at Kia. I don't know what Kia tastes of. A drink made of white wine and black currant syrup. That actually sounds quite nice. From F. Kia, the Frenchman who is said to have invented it. Let's try 23. Half of metal for a mug's seat. Pew is a seat. Pewter. Metal for a mug. You get pewter mugs, don't you? So half of metal for a mug would be PEW, and a seat in church especially is a pew. 24 down. They say my life is easy with a grimace. Riley. But I don't think you spell it like that. The life of Riley is an easy life. They say my life is easy. Wally's life. No, it's not that. What with a grimace? Oh, okay. Is it that? I don't know if that's correct. The correct spelling. It might be that. I think it's a homophone. It's much more likely to be that, isn't it? Yeah, but Riley, if we say this word, we would say it would sound exactly like the life of Riley. So what this is a homophone. It's saying my life is easy, or Riley's life is easy, as in the life of Riley. If we say the word Riley, that word Riley, it would sound exactly the same as W-R-Y-L-Y, assuming this is a Y in the spelling of Riley, as in if you did something Riley, you would do it with a grimace. I think this is more likely to be a Y than an I, just from the perspective of trying to fill 27 across. So let's revisit this. So dig. If you dig into something, you pry into it. Round memorial. Obituary, probity, upright state. That's a state of probity. So it is Riley like this. Let's actually just check whether there is an alternative spelling. Riley. Doesn't seem to be, does there? No, indeed there isn't. So you have to spell it with the Y. And then probity, obit is the hard bit of that clue. It's just sort of an obituary. So a memorial to somebody would be an obituary. So obit with pry around the outside and probity being an upright state. So chapel must be right here. I mean, it can't be anything else, can it? Part or place of union. A place of union is very clearly a chapel. Why is part of union a chapel? I don't know that. Part or place of union. I'm not sure I quite understand that one. I mean, I glibly say I can't think it can be. I don't think it could be anything else. I don't think there's another word that could go in there. That's always a dangerous thing to say in English. There are so many strange words. But blank H, blank P, blank L. No. I don't think there's another. I don't think there's anything else. So part of union. Part of union. I'm not sure. I don't quite understand it. I mean, a chap is somebody who would be party to a union. You'd get a chap and a lady. But I don't know. I don't think that's it. There's something cleverer going on than I'm seeing there, but I'm very loath to change that. Let's keep going, because we've still got all of this nonsense at the top to figure out. Bird, porridge is what I mean, this is an example of, I don't know if this is porridge, but it's an example of how experience with cryptic clues can help you. Because bird, I know, if a prisoner does bird, they're doing a sentence. And that is also sort of porridge is slang for that. So I'm wondering whether this is porridge. Partridge. Well, it is, isn't it? Good grief. I mean, that's really lucky. So what's going on here is a type of pheasant is a partridge, and that has a word for alternatively, which is or, used for its art. So if you think of the word partridge, you can see it within the word partridge you have the word art. So you take the word art out, replace it with a word for alternatively or, and you get porridge, which means bird. I mean, quite difficult. So I thought this was stead or something like that. Parental dude initially in another's place. What? Oh, parental stepdad. Oh gosh, is this is stepdad. I don't know quite why yet. Oh, it's very clever. Good grief, it's another and lit. So, parental dude initially is the initial letters of parental and dude, P and D, and that goes into a 5-letter word which means another's place, and if you're in the place of somebody else, you're in their stead, S-T-E-A-D, and that gives you the word stepdad. And if we read the whole clue, a parental dude initially in another's place would define a stepfather. That's really clever. Okay, so we've got these two, which I haven't got, and I didn't understand when I read them first time. Oh, so what was 18? 18 was, hat rack. That's not going to be relevant. Okay, so this character would advance by 18 places if hosted by Musk, say. Epsilon. Wow, isn't that's brilliant? That is absolutely brilliant. Right, I now can explain it. So what it's saying is, think of the word Elon. Musk, say. Elon is an example of somebody with the surname Musk. Now, if we host within the word Elon PSI, we can construct the word epsilon, and that is 18 letters later in the Greek alphabet than psi. And I don't know that for a fact, but I know that that is what the wordplay is saying, so it must be right. Yeah, that's. I mean, I think you'll find PSI, psi, and epsilon are 18 letters apart in the Greek alphabet, would be my best guess. And that is a brilliant clue. My goodness me. So we've just got to get 5 down. And now, let me just think. Location fits. That's a very natural. Babe, almost. Breaking into. Silly. Silly expression. It must be silly expression, mustn't it? But why? Babe, almost. Breaking. Babe Ruth? Babe Zaharis? Wasn't she a golfer? I'm probably going off on totally the wrong track here. I mean, I think this is going to come down to a guess. I don't think I quite understand what the clue's getting at. Definitely, if I was racing, I would have written in, I think I'd have written in locution, and the reason I would have gone for locution is I think it's got the same root as elocution, which is to do with speech, and therefore maybe something to do with an expression. And also, LOCU is the start of the word locus and the word locum, and maybe a babe, if a babe was a word for a deputy or a substitute or something, then it would work. Locum almost. Babe. Almost. Oh, come on, Simon. I think, what else could it be? It could be location, but why? A location isn't a silly expression. Or it could be something I haven't thought of. That's very possible. Licentious, isn't it? Not no. Locution. I think I would go for locution. Let's before we commit ourselves, let's see what the dictionary says. Locution. That looks really good, doesn't it? An expression. Okay, but it doesn't say silly expression. So into silly, I suspect, is saying anagram into. So breaking is not saying anagram into. Breaking, babe almost breaking. Must be babe almost breaking. Oh, sorry, I don't know. Let's look up babe. Maybe it's got a weird meaning. No, all of those meanings are the ones I already thought I knew. So let's look up let's just see what, if anything, locum. Maybe it has a... Yeah, this is a deputy. That's what I said. What about locus? Does that have anything apart from peace? It doesn't have anything to do with babes, does it? So I'm not understanding it unless... Low cut? No. Oh, I go for locution. I don't understand it. So I don't really quite understand locution today, and I don't really understand chapel. But I'm fairly sure they're both correct. That's famous last word. Oh, Origa as well. Although, so we are right. But I will rely on the erudite comments to explain what I've missed about 5 down and 19 across. I will say again, this is a fabulous puzzle. It really is. Just beautiful. So many clever moments. Couple of andlits today. And that psi clue is absolutely brilliant. I wonder if Origa is in the dictionary. Let's have a look. Yeah, there it is. A prominent northern constellation. Oh, North Sea oil was lovely as well. Yeah, that's a quality puzzle. Absolute quality. I wish I could say, and well done to Blob for setting such a brilliant puzzle, but they still don't publish who made each one of these, so I can't do it. But hopefully, in a bit of light relief for me, I'll have a quick race at the quick cryptic today. I hope I say a quick race. Hopefully it will be a quick race. Let's have a quick go at this and see if we can do any damage. Dishonest Republican interrupts chef and newspaper man. Dishonest chef. Crooked is the answer there. Cook. Managed bucket. It rains when it buckets. Doomed to go after clandestine, I'm sure. Or clan. It must be that. Cranes made from construction paper is origami, I think. I'm off to a good start here. Refusal to drink quickly. Refusal to knock down or something. I don't know. Sad days loom ultimately, repeatedly. Sad, dismal. Oh, I don't know. Damn. Give gas to member of the clergy. Relative, in-law. A group of voters taking in different factors in foreign harbours, ports of polls, I don't know. Following number in contact with PM, don't know. Line showing equal water depths is over tub. ISO something. ISO bath or something, don't know. Master swimming in a small river is a stream, anagram. Sex trade offers something else extra, that's a hidden. Anger topless father sire without its top. In the morning I depart for friend overseas, am I go. We go wrap up, envelop, I think, maybe. Envelop, it's got pole backwards in it, I think it's right. DNA, gosh, that's an abbreviation. 50s conflict, Korean War, yeah. Korean War, it's anagram. US city splits westbound in tailspin. Oh, I don't know, skinny or something. They say some hard looks are what's needed to get to the next level. Don't know. Treated creakiest winter athlete, ice skater. Start on holiday. The start is the off, I would have thought. Northern couple with energy to twist. Is that entwine? Maybe. Circle south at times, going by Osaka. Dad starts off very early to make a road. Oh no, starts off very early. Pave, gosh. It helps relieve congestion. Encountered in government holiday. Oh, menthol. It's a hidden. Okay. So, oh, ports of call maybe there. They might be right. ISO bath looks right. What's this then? Afternoon. PM is afternoon. They say stairs. Oh gosh, that's such a homophone. Knock something. Knock back. To refuse to knock back. Oh, spiral. Spiral. LA rips backwards. Dreary. Sad. Dreary. It must be. Days loom ultimately, repeatedly. Oh, is that right? Sad days loom. I've got to go for it. I can't. Sad, dreary. I've got a bad feeling about dreary. Oh, it's right. I didn't understand it. 13th of 178. Let's have a quick look. Chloe Hutton, 2 minutes 51, 1 minute quicker than me. I mean, how, John, have you done that? I mean, it's John McCabe, 2 minutes 22. It's so depressing. Andrew Fisher, 2 minutes 24. Matthew Marcus, 2 minutes 24. And stupid old me, 3 minutes 58. It's so bad. How? That was not that easy. Let's just go back because I didn't understand. I want to just understand dreary there. I know it cost me, it didn't only cost me 10 seconds or something, but Let me just think about this. Where could I have made up time? I got crooked rain, clandestine, origami really fast for me. I'm just trying to think. What was I really slow at? I don't know. It must just be just ineptitude. I don't know. Let's try. Right. What was the clue for this one? Sad days can be D. Loom ultimately. To loom. That feels like. Oh, to loom. Rear. If you loom, if something rears up before you, it would loom, wouldn't it? Oh, that's harsh. So it's the ultimate letter of the word repeatedly. That's so harsh. So because repeatedly, obviously you're trying to think of that from a wordplay perspective. You're thinking about repeating a letter. And the constructor, who is Beck, has just been deliberately unkind with that. Very clever. There we go. There we go. I hope you can forgive me for all sorts of ineptitudes today and digressions. But that is how to solve a couple of crosswords. Don't forget to have a look at Nick's puzzle as well. And do let us know in the comments how you got on. We enjoy the comments, especially when they're kind. And we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.